Hey everyone, I am Manoj Kumar and today in this session, in this video, I will be talking about money and banking chapter and we will be talking specifically about credit control or control of money supply, which is the most important function of the central bank of a country. In our case, it is the Reserve Bank of India. We have seen in the determination of national income and employment chapter that the national income is in equilibrium when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. If aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply, it is a case of excess demand. It leads to inflationary pressure, rise in the general price level of the commodities. If aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply, then it is a case of deficient demand which leads to deflationary pressure. In that case, the general price level comes down. Now, this disequilibrium in national income, the case of excess demand or deficient demand, can be set right through two ways. There are two approaches. One is fiscal policy, which is brought into the play by the government through its budget, with which it comes out annually. And another tool is the monetary policy, which is the exclusive preserve of Reserve Bank of India, in which it fixes rate of interest. Now, the government and the Reserve Bank of India, both of them are on two extremes. The government wants rate of interest to come down, which will increase the number of loan takers, which will increase the investment, and the income will go up. The Reserve Bank, on the other hand, is apprehensive that there is already inflation, money supply is already more. If the money supply is increased further and there is no increase in aggregate supply, in that case, inflation level will be higher. The general price level will go up, right? So, this is the background. If you read the newspapers, go through news items, listen to news on televisions, you must be aware that during the last 2 years, Reserve Bank has brought down the repo rate, about which we will discuss a little while later, to 4%. The idea was to increase the aggregate demand, which has fallen down due to many different reasons like demonetization, implementation of GST, and recently due to lockdowns due to the pandemic. So, this is the general background of what we are going to see heretofore, right? So, as I said earlier, one way to set right this disequilibrium in aggregate demand and aggregate supply is through monetary policy. There are many different tools available with the Reserve Bank of India through which it either increases the money supply or it decreases the money supply. The availability of credit is made easier or it is tightened, so that aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Now, we will see the various tools through which this is effected by the Reserve Bank of India. These tools are of two types. One is quantitative measures. One is quantitative measures And these quantitative measures are of three types. One is policy rates, another is policy ratios, and the third one is open market operations. Then again, these policy rates are of two types. One is repo rate and another is bank rate. And this policy ratio, they are also of two types. One is cash reserve ratio, CRR, another is statutory liquidity ratio, SLR, about which we will be talking a little while later. And then another tool is qualitative measures. These qualitative measures are also of three types. One is margin requirement. Another is rationing of credit. And third one is moral suasion. So, quantitative measures, let us take them first. There are two types of policy rates. One is repo rate, another is bank rate. Now, what is repo rate? Repo rate is the rate of interest at which commercial banks take short-term loans from the Reserve Bank of India. It is done to tide over, come over liquidity crisis, liquidity squeeze. For this, commercial banks have to give collaterals in the form of government approved securities. It has repurchase agreement and its rate is a bit lower than the bank rate. Right now this repo rate is 4%. As I said earlier, it has been brought down to 4%. It is for short term borrowings. Then bank rate is the rate of interest at which commercial banks take long term loans, borrowings from Reserve Bank of India. For this, no collateral is required. There is no repurchase agreement. It is long term and its rate of interest is higher than that of repo rate. Repo rate is 4% right now and bank rate is 4.65%. So, if repo rate is increased from 4 to 5%, let us say, then commercial banks would also increase the rate of interest which it asks its borrowers to pay. If the repo rate or bank rate is decreased, then in that case, commercial banks also decreases the rate of interest which it collects from its borrowers. So, an increase in the policy rates will decrease the money supply and a decrease in the policy rate will increase the money supply in the market. Right? So, these are two tools. Together they are known as policy rates. Similarly, we have policy ratios. Cash reserve ratio, CRR, is the percentage of deposits which commercial banks are required to keep with RBI. Right now it is 3%. What does it mean? it means that for every 100 rupees deposited in the commercial banks, they have to keep rupees 3 with the Reserve Bank of India. Right? If this rate is increased, let us say from 3 to 4%, the availability of credit will decrease, the money supply will decrease. If it is reduced from 3% to 2%, the availability of credit will increase, the money supply will increase. Similarly, statutory liquidity ratio is the percentage of deposits which commercial banks are required to keep in the form of cash, gold and government approved securities. Right now this is 18.50%. So if it is increased, the availability of credit will decrease, and if it is decreased, availability of credit will increase. Together, this cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, these are mandated by law. 3% CRR, 18.50% SLR. When we combine them, add them, it is 21.50. For every deposit of 100 rupees, 21.50 rupees have to be kept in reserve. Part of it is kept in RBI and part of it is kept with the commercial banks. Right? So an increase or decrease in these policy ratios will decrease or increase the availability of credit or money supply in the economy. Right? Now, then we have open market operations. We have open market operations. Let us assume that money supply is 200 crores more than the aggregate supply, availability of goods and services. In that case, Reserve Bank sells securities amounting to rupees 200 crores. The public buys those securities from Reserve Bank and this additional 200 crore rupees comes to the RBI and aggregate demand becomes equal to aggregate supply. So if the RBI sells the securities, money supply decreases. On the other hand, if the money supply is less by 200, the aggregate supply is more by 200 crore rupees, then in that case, the RBI will purchase the securities from the public, and that way 200 crores will come into the economy. So, depending on whether the money supply is more or less, similar amount of securities are being sold or purchased by the RBI to bring the national income back to equilibrium where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. Right? So this is open market operations. If you will go through newspapers, the business and economy page of any standard newspaper, you will come across these terms quite often. Then coming to qualitative measures, the first one is margin requirements. We are aware that when we go to banks for borrowings, taking loans, in that case banks asks for collateral. Now let us assume that my collateral is rupees 1 crore. So if I am placing a collateral of rupees 1 crore, the banks will give me a loan of less than rupees 1 crore. Less than rupees 1 crore, because if it gives me 1 crore loan out of 1 crore collateral, then in the case of default it will be able to recover only rupees 1 crore, its profit will be 0. There is no question of giving loan more than the collateral, because in that case banks will incur loss, suffer loss. So this loan advanced by the commercial banks is always less than the collateral. Now, if this margin requirement, let us say, is 5%, if I give a collateral of 1 crore, I get a loan of 95 lakhs. Now, there are two cases. In one case, the margin requirement is decreased. In another case, margin requirement is increased. If this margin requirement is increased to 7%, now instead of 95 lakhs, I will be getting only 93 lakhs. So availability of credit will come down, money supply will decrease. On the other hand, if this is brought from 5% to 3%, in that case, there will be more loan takers. In that case, there will be more loan takers. Out of a collateral of rupees 1 crore, I am getting a loan for rupees 97 lakhs. So, an increase in the margin requirement decreases the money supply, and a decrease in the margin requirement increases the money supply. Then we have rationing of credit. It is pretty clear that the availability of credit is always less than the demand for credit. There are many different sectors of the economy, like power sector, telecom sector, infrastructure sector, agriculture sector. Now, at any given point of time, the need for credit is more in one sector as compared to other. That is at the macro level. If we go to micro level, let us say in case of Bihar, the economy is agriculture based. So agriculture would be requiring more credit. In case of Gujarat and Maharashtra, they are industry based. Industry will be requiring more credit. In Goa, tourism will be requiring more credit. So depending on the needs and requirements of the economy, needs and requirements of a particular region, the RBI rations the credit, fixes the priorities areas for lending due to less availability of credit than the demand. This is what is known as rationing of credit. Then the last one is moral suasion. It is a combination of pressure and persuasion. It is a combination of pressure and persuasion. Like when RBI reduces the repo rate, it has decreased the rate of interest that it is asking from commercial banks for the loan that it gives. Now, if the repo rate is decreased, RBI assumes that commercial banks will also decrease their rate of interest, which they ask from borrowers. But it does not happen that way. RBI is on one extreme, commercial banks are on another extreme. You might have come across the news item that RBI is requesting commercial banks to decrease their rate of interest as RBI has decreased its repo rate. But it does not happen that way. Commercial banks do their own calculations, they have their own priorities, and they work accordingly. Like in case of cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, it is mandatory. Commercial banks have to follow it. But there are certain areas in which commercial banks are not required to do the bidding of RBI. They are free to take their own decisions. There is a kind of autonomy to them in certain areas of decision making. In that case, RBI has to apply a combination of pressure and persuasion, that is what is known as moral suasion. To take an analogy, the parents and teachers ask students to study diligently, but students have their own mind, they take their own decisions, they take their own time. It is not mandatory for them, it is not necessary that they would do the bidding of the parents or teachers. In that case, both parents and teachers have to apply a combination of pressure and persuasion. It is just like that, only here in moral suasion. So, these are the different tools, measures available with the Reserve Bank of India, through which they control the credit, availability of credit, increase it or decrease it, or control of money supply. The idea is to set right the disequilibrium in national income in the cases of excess demand or deficient demand. Right? Like when we go to a restaurant, they give us a menu card, different recipes are there as per our liking, budget, preferences. We pick up the items that we think would serve our purpose. Similarly, RBI uses any one of these tools or a combination of more than one tools to control the money supply or effect credit control in the economy. This is one topic which is of interest to general public as well, because as I said earlier, if you will go through the newspapers every day, you are bound to come across one of these items on a regular basis. And these quantitative measures, every quarter, after every 3 months, RBI comes with its monetary policy, which is keenly awaited by the economy, industrialists, businessmen, everyone. Right? I hope now you are quite familiar with the various tools which are required for credit control. Right? Thank you.